This is going to be a video about the Mini World Tour, featuring myself and Misa using Falcon. And using Falcon here is pretty much a meme. It's the worst machine in this mode, pretty much for every reason. Holding the boost combo with Falcon is pretty much the most difficult because every hit will knock you under the boost combo threshold. Even fragile machines like Fox have more boost to use, so you can initiate your boost combo again. And just the energy management of the Falcon is the worst. It's really tough to get Skyways with Falcon, which, you have to get first lap Skyways in this mode. And just like every scenario, Falcon is just pretty much the worst in this mode. So let's see if we can succeed with Falcon here and what we have to do. And all the audio will be coming from the left side with Falcon bad. And the opener is very important, so let's see if there's any differences between Falcon bad and Misa. So around the same placement, they know what they're doing. Misa with an early KO. And that's really the ideal to get. I mean, a lot of times you risk your whole race for that KO. Misa takes the decision though to boost ahead. And Falcon bad is straggling behind. So basically no lap points for Falcon bad. Misa is further up ahead and gets his Skyway. And the problem is, where I use the Skyway is you skip a lot of the gem spawns. So I was trying to get back in the race with the best possible Skyway, but in this mode, you could be Skywaying over all the gem spawns. And luckily enough, I picked up a KO there. And when you're having a bad race, really, if it's bad already, just go for the KOs, because that's really the only way to salvage it. And you can see the point differential here. Misa with a much better score. Plus, he did get that one KO early, so that was a really solid run, especially for Falcon. And you can see how much the difference is of the RTS is. I held my boost on the first lap, and really, I ended up getting caught in the pack in a bad situation that I couldn't get out of, where Misa kind of seemingly overboosted, but really it was the correct amount of boost to get out of the first lap. So he got his sparks and then kept boosting to get ahead. So he gets the lap points for lap 1, and then he collected the gems lap 2 then into a Skyway, which is the correct play. And I just got stuck kind of playing in the pack, and nothing good was happening in there. Luckily, at least one KO to bring to the next race, but overall, very low points for me that race. And Port Town 1 seems to be the most common first track in this mode, so get used to having to play this with default energy and know what the best RTS is to get the most points. And for the second course, Mir Big Blue 2, and this is a really good front running course since there's a lot of spark plates. This is also a really good KO farming course. So if you are having a bad race, I would highly suggest farming KOs in this race. And let's see what me and Misa do here. And I opted to take the scenic route after the zipper, which I don't really think is a good idea on this course specifically because of the front run strength. So now I'm behind, and Misa's ahead and with even more sparks than I have. And Misa gets the optimum first Skyway, and I'm going to have to wait to the second spot. And Misa is able to get the 200 first place points for the lap. And the bad part is about being behind is now you have to deal with all the collisions. And obviously you just get less points for being behind. An unfortunate red there. I got kind of panicked. And now we're both building up our second Skyway. And I unfortunately have to hold it to the end here, just to make sure I don't die. He's just doing the same thing. And Skyway to safety. So still a decent race. I mean, it wasn't optimal. Like, you could really front run this course all the way if you have a perfect run, and then you get a ton of points. But overall, still pretty good. Someone's delaying the race, like usual in this mode. There we go, we can see the top scores. So my score does hold up, so it wasn't really a failure, it just, you know, wasn't a great race. And in a 1.5 lobby, you should be able to get over 2,000 points on that course if you have the best run. So after 2 races, my points are kind of very mediocre here. Not really like how this World Tour is going for me. And Misa is near the top, and with Falcon, that's exceptional. And for the third course, Mute City 4. And since I'm Falcon, I'm just not going to count on getting a first lap Skyway. It's just unlikely. So I'm going to try to play forward a little. We'll see if I could do that. And also, then we'll pay attention to see how Misa plays it. So he veered off to the right to start. That means he wants to sandbag. While I'm darting ahead. Now I'm trying to get in the pack a little bit. Starting my boost combo. Lucky KO for me. And you can see I got knocked out of my boost combo. Unfortunately, if you're Falcon, just count on that happening. Now boosting around the final corner to get boost combo here. Now we just hold the Skyway into the corner here. And based on the distance from first place, I should be able to use the corner. Just barely getting the extension. So decent lap points there, and now I have a full bar. I could boost this whole lap. And the mistake I made there is the gems don't spawn in the dirt there, they spawn in the other path, so it would have been better if I took the right path. But overall, pretty good decisions and executions for me, and that race I scored more points. In second place overall, it's Mr. Angelo. So that should put me a few ranks ahead overall. Now I'm in the top 10. Usually that's what I consider goose territory. And there was a few other machines. Angelo's up there with Steer Assist, and Master A1 as Stingray. And here we have Near Red Canyon 2. So this is kind of a complex course, as there's a lot of spark plates. So when will we get our Skyways? And both sandbagging to start. Misa's a little further up. Unfortunately, I caught the magnets a little bit, so not the optimal shortcut. And Misa's gone on the Skyway. So now we're pretty close again to each other. So really, it was just effective to get ahead as early as possible. This is a pretty stacked lobby, so there'll be a second Skyway. And part of the problem too on a course like this is, if you're Skywaying again, you'll be missing out on gems. So you have to be careful about where you use your Skyway. And really, you have no choice in this type of lobby to get a second Skyway. And that's kind of the big difference between the, the one Skyway front run lobbies or these lobbies where you're forced to use a second Skyway because everyone's going so fast. So Misa's down to 0 and launches the Skyway. I'm right behind him. So we both had fairly decent races there. Misa with more points. And sometimes it just matters when you're crossing the gems at what time, because people can't steal the gems. The gems themselves despawn. So if you ever watch like the gems on, especially when the Red Canyons, like you'll be in the zigzag parts, and you're like, oh, I'm going to get all those gems, and then like right before you get there, they start disappearing. So there is timings to that too. Now we're heading off into the 5th course of the World Tour. So I'm kind of feeling a little low on my KOs here. I'm at 2, and generally the lowest I really want to be comfortable at is like 3. But generally with Falcon I like getting 5. That's when I feel like I started having some power and can compete with the geese. Meteor Sandstorm 2 really shouldn't be that big of a problem for Falcon, since there is really just a boost pattern and you can't really do much outside of that. You can't do, like, there's just not enough spaces to boost. And like usual, trying to sandbag a little to get the sparks. And I'm actually getting really good spark production this time. And there, first lap Skyway to Falcon. So I don't get that often, and it was a really optimal spot too. Meanwhile, now Misa got stuck with no first lap Skyway, and he's in a lot of trouble. So it's a lot of things are going wrong, getting knocked around, and he's going to have to hold this Skyway all the way to the good point. So this course really only has one Skyway spot. And the Skyway isn't even that strong, so this is just going to be a dud race for Misa. Unfortunate pattern there. Maybe I should have boosted more, because that pattern is kind of tough to get around. And kind of lucky I didn't die there, so I was kind of getting cornered by reds and could have really took one hit to get knocked into that group of them. But overall, a pretty strong run there. This Sandstorm, unfortunately, you don't get that much points. Really, you want Sand Ocean, it gives you better points. And then Misa kind of just... It's just one of those things, if you don't get your Skyway at the right time, and especially on a course like this, you fall behind, and then just more bad stuff happens to you. So that's going to hurt his overall ranking. Now we head into the 6th course here, Deathwind 2, which is one of the few good Falcon tracks in the game. Now ideally for this course is you build up a first lap Skyway and launch it at the end straight away. So I sandbagged kind of hard there. Feel like that was a little too much. And Misa's ahead, you can see. So, and I have crazy good spark production this race. So I'm just going to launch my Skyway. I didn't want to get it that fast because it's not the optimal one. Now everyone's going to catch up after this point. Meanwhile, Misa's getting the perfect spark production. Looks like he was just a couple short, but launches it anyways, just because you don't want to be stuck holding it. And I can't even boost here, unfortunately. So now everyone's going to be passing me. And this is going to be a bad third lap. And like always the situation when I'm having kind of a bad race, I do target the grays more to try to get KOs. And really our point differential really wasn't that big, but I felt like I just had a really bad run. And with the first lap Skyways, an advantage to that too is you get more gems along the way because the gem spawns just aren't there, but the Skyway does spawn gems, so that's another advantage of an early Skyway. And with our current point totals, we're kind of out of reach from first place. At least me, I'm totally out of reach. It would take the top geese to have a bad run for Misa to win here. And White Land 2 can be a tough finale track. It's best to front run it, but you kind of need to have a lot of energy to do so, especially if it's a lobby and the other players are stacked with KOs, or people get an early Skyway. You just won't be able to compete. And the other thing is the gold lags behind. Since there's more racers in this mode, there's 40 instead of 20, the gold drops like super late, like something around like 24th place or something. So like you really have to like sit far behind, and then you get like really bad lap points. And we're both trying to front run this race. Luckily I had a little better starting position, so I'm further ahead. And unfortunately, it looks like I kind of got rammed forward into that red. So I don't have too much energy left this race. Falcon just is really bad on energy management. Costs so much to use. So you can see I was delaying my boost there, so I only had to use one boost to get around this corner instead of two. And let's look, Misa was able to build up a Skyway. So it's going to be really helpful to get out of there, collecting his gems, launch the Skyway. And unfortunately, I just don't have enough energy to front run, so this is going to be a bad race for me. And Misa was able to get the first place finish for the 200 points. And unfortunately, I kind of just got caught up in a lot of different stuff. It just wasn't a good race. I really need more energy. That's like where I say I need the 5 KOs with Falcon. Otherwise, you have to like hold boost at times, and the geese certainly aren't holding boost ever, so you just fall behind. And of course, there's more lobby stalling because it's that's what people do. Let's see the overall standings here. Let's pause for a moment. And these point totals here kind of encapsulates the Falcon struggle. So you can see with me, the first course, Amirpur Town 1, my RTS went bad, and it came to the point of no return. And at best, I was able to get 1 KO out of it. And I was trying to get more, but, you know, sometimes you just like glad you even got one because it's that bad of a race. And Misa had a good mirror portend one and executed the RTS pretty well. And if he was Goose, that probably just would have been a first place in points. And then down to overall, like I had mediocre runs pretty much throughout the whole thing. And a lot of times that's how Falcon goes, unless I get a lot of KOs early. You kind of just struggle your way through because you just don't have the energy equivalency to Goose at all. And it's just the worst overall machine. So Misa was still able to play a little better overall, but unfortunately, in his Mirror Sandstorm 2, he didn't get the sparks. And then you get dragged off, like, you have to hold your Skyway, because especially in a course like that, because if you use it early, you go around that first bend, and that's even worse. So it's just like, that could be make or break if you don't get the Skyway on time in certain courses, because then, there's not really a second, even the Skyway spot. And we use it on courses, it could take you these long routes, and you're just like, that's a waste too. So unfortunately, a lot of times track selection matters too. And with certain machines, you want certain tracks. Like if you're Stingray, obviously you're going to want the original Sand Ocean, and you could just front run it and get over 2,000 points. And courses are just worth more or less. Like, especially when you get certain Mute Cities. I think it's Mute City 3, which is like the really bad one. Doesn't have much gems. And then there's ones like Mute City 2, which is loaded full of gems, and Mute City 4, that's also really good in gems, especially if you can front run it. So a lot of things matter. It's, what tracks are in it, like when are they coming up in the lineup, and what machine you are. So a lot goes into the kind of, that's part of the excitement of the World Tours. It's like, what tracks am I getting and when are they going to be in the lineup? I felt like this is a pretty good representation of Falcon. It was just a random one I picked, so it wasn't like some, mini World Tour re-upload, like when we have like the greatest start of all time and we get all the KOs and everything goes our way. This is just like you're playing with Falcon and you're glad you even got like 1 or 2 KOs, and that's how you have to play it. And Mr. Angelo was able to take the first place here using Steer Assist Fox. And Mr. Angelo is the expert of Steer Assist. He's able to utilize it in a way that he's able to win the hardest lobbies using Fox. So that's kind of like a rarity. Usually you just don't see Fox, or, their crash out rate is so high it seems like you never see them. But Mr. Angelo is consistent and he wins a lot of lobbies using it. So it's worth checking out to see how he plays, and he does stream on YouTube. So you do get to see him play. And like I said in the beginning of the video, this is just a random mini World Tour where me and Misa are streaming on a Saturday. So this should have been during Correct Cup, and I'm using Falcon for the whole EL season. And Misa, maybe he was just goofing around. Maybe something bad happened earlier in the day, and he's just like, if it's that bad, might as well just be Falcon at that point. So at least get to see some comparisons. I like doing these comparison races to see, what 2 different players are doing, and you could be close to each other and get like drastic differences. So especially on Mirror Sandstorm 2, that's where the biggest difference happened. And you can see Falcon is so bad that it makes Misa look human. He wasn't able to get first place in this mini World Tour. And versus Goose, it's just really no comparison, because Goose is tuned to 4 laps of energy and, slowly loses his energy each lap, where Falcon has to recover. But now with 3 laps, Goose has a 4-lap boost system still. So like Goose just feels like unlimited power in this mode. And that's really a big difference. And that's why with Falcon, really, you just got to pick up KOs when you can. Otherwise, you're going to be severely overpowered. And that's it for this video. I kind of just wanted to do these for a World Tour since I haven't yet. And maybe I'll do more in the future as well.